We're so glad to have you as a part of our family, and we hope to see you again soon.
That's not me.
Hey humans, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, I do videos on creepy and disturbing things, and today we are doing part 2 of Happy Meat Farms. We are going to finish up what we know of the story so far in this particular part of an overarching ARG. Part 2 is where things are going to get nice and dark, take a much more sinister turn than we ever expected, and I am here for it. We're gonna jump right into the video, but today's video does have a sponsor, so I'm gonna roll to that and I will be right back with you guys. Today's video is sponsored by Factor. As many of you have probably noticed, Factor has been sponsoring my channel for the past few months now, and I'm just so grateful to them because it's just a service that I genuinely love and use a lot. I'm obsessed with their product because it solves pretty much every food issue that you could have. You don't have to shop, you don't have to cook, you don't have to prep, you don't have to clean up. You cut way down on your food waste while at the same time still getting very nutrient-dense foods. So you could spend all of that time you'll save with Factor kicking it at the beach or having drinks at the pool. With Factor, you get fresh, never frozen, already prepared, dietitian-approved meals shipped literally right to your front door. My favorite part about Factor is that instead of going to spend $20 to $30 on takeout just for myself, I just look in my fridge and there is a healthy, delicious, fresh meal that I can pop in the microwave and it'll be ready in 2 minutes. I know I was skeptical of them before I tried them because I didn't understand how they could possibly get the food to taste good just out of the microwave like that. But honestly, I don't know how they do it. The chicken is always tender and juicy. Their beef and turkey is always perfectly seasoned. The veggies are always the perfect texture. I honestly don't know what they're doing up there, but their food is always so good. Head to factor.com or click the link below and use code HannahTheHorrible50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. That's factor75.com and use code HannahTheHorrible50. Okay, so before we get into it, I need to talk about something slightly uncomfortable from part 1. I did not know this, but a lot of you guys informed me in the comments, and thank you so much for educating me on this, that if you recall from part 1, the New World Order is a big part of this story, and a lot of people in part 1 informed me that the New World Order conspiracy theory is rooted in quite a bit of anti-Semitism. I did not know that at the time of filming part 1, and I will try to be more conscientious of it here in part 2. For those of you that don't know, so the New World Order is a very well-known conspiracy theory. It's one of the most popular conspiracy theories out there. The basic summary of it is that there is a group of people that believe that the most elite people in the world are secretly conspiring against all of us to create a totalitarian government and take over the world and control us all. So a lot of people that believe in the New World Order conspiracy also believe that the not just elite people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos or Obama, people like that, those elite people of the world, but that specifically Jewish people are the ones that are the elites. Like the elite Jewish people are specifically the ones that are conspiring against all of us. With those people that believe that Jewish people are behind this particular plan, there also, of course, is a lot of Holocaust denial and things like that. Just really atrocious beliefs that are not opinions, but just like make you a trash person. I'm sorry, but if you're going to deny the Holocaust, you're a trash person. So all that to say, that sucks. I do think that sucks, that's part of this story. However, I do want to give the creator of this story the benefit of the doubt. The creator of not only Happy Meat Farms, but the Muse ARG, which is a very big ARG online as a whole, the SpongeBob Conspiracy Theory ARG, for other people that are not familiar. I'm going to go ahead and assume, like me, he had no idea that these roots were in this conspiracy theory. I have always thought of that conspiracy as ridiculous, but basically world domination by rich people, any rich people. As far as I know in this story, the creator did not include any sort of overtly racist themes in the story and has just used the New World Order as something that people could understand easily and relate to. I don't want to sound like this is very hard. I'm very uncomfortable. I don't, because I'm in such a privileged position that I probably don't know how to say the right thing here, but I do want to work under the assumption that this was not intentional unless we find out otherwise, and also not a direct part of the lore. And I also think that they are the antagonist in the story, the people behind Happy Meats Farms that are trying to get people into the New World Order. They are very much the antagonist, very much the evil side that Alex Bale is making fun of. Like, he's making fun of people who believe in this kind of stuff, as honestly we should. And also working under the assumption that this is an alternate universe, not based in our reality, and therefore the New World Order in this universe is not the same. Okay, so as a recap, in part 1, we finished with the research and development portal. We learned that Happy Meat Farms is definitely not what it seems to be, and that something very sinister is going on. Namely, they are doing experiments on animals and humans to try and mutate them into beings with significantly more meat on them. One of the test subjects was a human, and they managed to escape the facility with some insider information, and we now believe that this subject is the one who is making the YouTube channel This Place Is Not Happy in order to expose what is really going on at Happy Meat Farms. Part of this video, in part 2, a lot of that is going to be discussing who this test subject was. If you need more context than that brief recap, I highly recommend going to watch part 1. I'll try to remember to put it in a card up there somewhere for you. And as promised, we're going to start this video off with a video from This Place Is Not Happy. The animal testing of these mutation DNA genome modification tests was last video, and we have escalated now to the human testing. So let's watch the video with the human testing. This is the Happy Meat Farms Human Genome Modification Test 47.
Happy Meat Farms has an exciting new opportunity for employees looking to advance in the company. Our research and development department is always working on exciting new innovations, and we're looking for volunteers to test them out. Rest assured that these are simple, harmless tests that are completely 100% safe. Thank you for participating in Happy Meat Farms research and development. We're so glad to have you as a part of our family and as a small part of the New World Order.
Don't feed them.
So notice when there's no significant growth, they terminate, but when there is significant growth, which seems to translate to the subject having more, quote, meat on them, for lack of a better term, they are sent to HR, meaning the results were either satisfactory or significant. So then, if you notice, when we get to the test subject 27, we talked about this in the last video, but as the video suggests, the subject escaped and managed to get some of the sensitive data along with them, again, assuming that they are the one running this YouTube channel. Then the end of the video says, "Mother will be pleased," before it goes back to the like corporate stuff. And then in a very distorted voice at the end, it says, I believe it says, "Don't feed them," or something to that effect.
Don't feed them.
So we kind of know that perhaps this isn't a Happy Meat Farms video. Well, it is, but the person that created the YouTube channel who's trying to expose Happy Meat Farms added that, again, to try to expose them. Okay, so with that video as our launch pad, let's dive into the HR department, shall we? Like I have told you in part 1, all the codes are readily available online, and that is how I am accessing these with the guest portals is what they're called, and that's how I'm accessing these websites. So the beginning of the HR department page says, Happy Meat Farms Human Resources Department, welcome to the Happy Meat Farms Human Resources Department portal. We're so glad to have you on our most important team. We lucky chosen few have the honor to directly work with Mother to create the New World Order. Please watch this helpful orientation video to acquaint yourself with the HR department building. Okay, so again, we're gonna watch this video together, but then I will go through the video with you. We're gonna talk about HR quite a bit, so don't worry if some stuff in this video doesn't make sense. This video is also 5 minutes long, just FYI. The videos that we're gonna watch together in this one are a little longer. So let's watch Happy Meat Farms HR orientation video together. And I'm also watching the one from YouTube, not the one from the HR department portal, because the YouTube version has about 20 seconds extra in it, which is important.
Hi, I'm Ramona Bynes, founder of Happy Meat Farms. Ever since I was a little girl, I was an animal lover, and I'm so proud to have created a place where animals can be treated right. so much for supporting us at Happy Meat Farms. We're so glad to have you as a part of our family, and we hope to see you again soon.
That's not
Okay, so to talk about this video a little bit more. So remember how in the employee orientation video, they talk about how you might get something from the facility that you're supposed to transfer to the HR department, but under no circumstances should you ever look into HR or go inside. So now that we're in the HR video, notice the beginning says you're going to get an asset from R&D, and you are to carefully transport this asset to mother in HR. There are 3 rules if you get to go into HR to deliver the asset to mother. Don't touch anything, don't look at anything, but still have fun. And then we get some really fun and totally not upsetting at all creepy and disturbing images of what beholds us by going into HR. So first, we have the hole room, simply full of holes. I am so sorry to anyone with trypophobia. I will put a warning in the video, but I'm so sorry still. The hair room. I think I've had actual nightmares about this image. I hate it so much. I despise hair that is detached from people. Oh God. Anyway, okay, the flesh room boasts to have real flesh. The rat room, there's a rat in here somewhere. The room with the yellow balloon that warns the viewer not to go in there. And then it says you could take a bathroom break with yet another nightmare-inducing image of a toilet. Fun fact, I have a recurring dream about dirty toilets. Like, I have this dream probably several times a month at least, and I've had it for years, where I really have to pee in the dream, but the only toilet available to me is like disgusting and terrible, and I don't even know how to approach it or go to the bathroom on it. Like, there's poop everywhere in the stall, and the toilet's like super clogged, like you can't even sit on it or anything like that. I have a recurring nightmare about that. So this image was not my favorite either. And then really quickly, at about 2 minutes and 9 seconds in this HR video, you get a quick glimpse of what looks like someone in a fetal position hiding in the corner. So yes, we sure are following rule 3 and having fun, but in case you missed it, here's that image. There's the butterfly room, don't let them out, the drawing room, and then this horse room with a half of a horse. Very upsetting. The pink room, which looks like a child's room, but notice there's like the Happy Meat Farms cow on the wall. We also get this super creepy cow with glowing eyes. Then there's the birthday room. All the while, it is clear that we are getting closer and closer in the department to whatever mother is. We get to see the room where the big scary spider subject escaped from earlier, so that's fun. And then we get to the dog room. So go ahead and give the dogs a scritch because apparently they're friendly. So at least they got that going for them. And then there's the DNA storage. All these DNA tubes say mother on them. Keep that in mind for later. Just stick that in your pocket for now. We also get a glimpse of the IT department. Again, just keep that in mind for later. We will talk about IT later in this video. Finally, we arrive at mother, and this is where we are supposed to feed that asset that we got from the beginning of the video to mother. And then the end of the video shows mother feeding. One last note before we look at the rest of the HR department, which explains this video more. The HR video on the website is slightly different than the one on YouTube, like I said. If you watch the one on YouTube, like we just did together, the end has the founder of Happy Meat Farms, and she becomes distorted. If you missed it, she said, "That's not me," in a distorted voice. So again, something very strange is going on with her as well. And it is highly speculated and pretty well accepted that the founder of Happy Meat Farms is the escaped human subject 0027, who is trying to expose Happy Meat Farms and is trying to tell us something in these videos. So just to reiterate that blonde, happy woman at the beginning of the videos that we see, Ramona Bynes, who is the founder of Happy Meat Farms, and she wanted to make a farm with sustainable and humanely treated animals that we produce meat from. And we are actually pretty sure that she is the one behind this YouTube channel trying to expose them. She was one of the subjects, but she managed to escape. And again, we will still talk about that more later as well, I promise. So again, going through HR, Mother has blessed us with many children over the years. It is our duty to make sure they find the right hosts and properly grow into their final form. The New World Order will not be something easily achieved. Humans are a violent and determined species, but they can be manipulated. If we are to gain control, it cannot be taken by force. It must be willingly given to us. HR is where we ensure that our control is absolute. This is where the nightmares are made. And then next to that, it says, fun fact, the HR department building was originally a hospital near the farm. It serves a much greater purpose now. Okay, so then under that, they just said, this is where nightmares are made. Now we get to Project Nightmare. This is a very important part of the story and will also make the HR video make more sense. In order to keep our hosts in line, there are different physical and psychological pressures that can be applied to them. We found that the most effective forms of pressure can be applied by using one of our many fully assimilated children. In some instances, we may also trick one of our hosts to unknowingly manipulate another resistant host. But there are some cases that may require a bit more creativity. This is where Project Nightmare comes in. This room was designed to test genetically modified human hair cells that would grow from behind walls or in the ceiling. This prototype was later used to successfully recondition a host who had a childhood trauma involving hair. So they used that room in the HR video to purposely and intentionally re-traumatize one of their subjects or their hosts in order to manipulate them and control them and get them to comply with their testing. While this may appear to be an ordinary balloon, it's actually an advanced piece of technology. We're able to control where it goes and even speak directly through it. It's an exact replica of a balloon that a host gave their recently deceased daughter. We managed to convince the host that the balloon was possessed by the daughter's spirit. After that, it became much easier to make the host comply. Specific information on each host will be provided by the IT department along with recommendations for creating different nightmares. So again, not much to say about that. Happy Meat Farms is obviously using essentially psychological warfare and psychological torture to control their hosts. All right, let's scroll back up a little bit to Feed Mother. At the Human Resources Department, we have the privilege to be the ones to feed Mother. Unlike the children, Mother requires more than just regular living organisms to grow. The R&D department will provide us with assets that have a much more suitable amount of biomass. Some larger assets may require alternative pathways to reach Mother. Please proceed with caution as you transport an asset to Mother. We don't want another repeat of MO101. So this confirms, first of all, our suspicion that they're doing this genome modification test to make subjects bigger and have more meat in order to adequately feed this mother thing. Also a reminder, MO101, that subject is that thing that mutated into that spider-like thing. We've talked about them several times. The dog area. If you've explored the HR department, you may have come across a few of the many dogs in the building. Before we moved on to human trials, the R&D department tested a batch of domesticated canines in Project Chimera. The experiment led to no substantial increase in biomass, but instead of termination, we decided to allow them to roam freely in the HR department as pets to boost morale. Feel free to pet the dogs if you come across them. Not much to note there. That part is just hilarious to me, and I love the humor in this story, even though it's so effing dark. All right, moving on to extracting DNA. In order to create the genetically modified assets, DNA must be taken from mother and given to the R&D department. If you work at H&R long enough, you might be given the highest honor of getting up close with mother and extracting the DNA directly from her. Lucky you! A set of extraction tools will be provided to you. While you're in mother's chamber, you'll want to be as quiet and careful as possible. It is unlikely to happen to you, but there have been times where mother has mistaken an employee for food. In this unlikely event, you should still be honored that mother chose you to be eaten. So again, if you recall from the HR orientation video, we saw those shots of the DNA that all said mother on it in that room. If you haven't caught on by now, Happy Meat Farms is extracting DNA from mother, putting it into the test subjects, and that is what they're doing to create the bigger biomass. That's the genome modification tests, is the extracted DNA from mother forcibly put into these test subjects. The reconnection. Once mother reaches full size and the children reach their final forms, they will return to become reconnected. Here, the children will share the redacted, digested from their hosts, and mother will give the children their next instructions. Digestion. Digestion is the final and most difficult phase of a child's relationship with their host, but it is also the most important if we are to achieve our goals. The host's redacted cannot simply be taken. The will and identity of the host must be completely broken down before digestion can be completed. The process may be torture for the host, but it is necessary to break down their will. So this explains why they're carrying out Project Nightmare, because they're using these psychological torture techniques on the hosts, not only to get them to comply, but to get them in a state where they are broken down and ready for digestion. So thanks. I hate that so much. And then at the bottom of the page is a live feed of mother, which I'm fairly confident is just a photo of the empty chamber, but the light in the photo does look like it's moving as if it is a live feed. I don't know if that's something intentional or if my eyes are just playing tricks on me because I've tried to stay ahead of the jump scares, but yeah, there it is. I do want to just take a pause here and explain something that is very confusing. If you don't know the whole ARG, Don't Feed the Muse, or the Muse ARG, that is the overarching ARG that Happy Meat Farms is a part of. I know it's very confusing, but the whole ARG goes way deeper than all of this, as we've kind of touched on before. But I want to make it clear, because this is confusing, that the assets are different than the children. Okay? I know it's very confusing. So an asset is something that's been injected with mother's DNA and changed, hopefully to have more biomass, and fed to mother. So that's an asset. The children are just simply offspring of mother, and Happy Meat Farms is trying to pair a child of mother with the right host so that they can grow off the host by this torture on the host. So a host is a human subject who is being watched over by the Muse, and a Muse is something, again, in the overarching ARG, but basically whoever's behind Happy Meat Farms is stalking the host and using Project Nightmare and the psychological torture and everything on the host, which is a human subject, and they're trying to break them down enough so that they can be digested. I believe a muse and a child of mother are synonymous. I believe those are the same thing, at least according to the Reddit subreddit game theorists that talks about this ARG. So the children of mother are take hosts and are trying to break down that host, the human subject, in order to feed them so they can get to their final form and basically take over the world. Interestingly, also according to the Reddit, and this is again part of it, just kind of keep it on the side because it's not part of Happy Meat Farms specifically that much, but there are hosts in this Muse ARG, including Alex Bale, who is the creator, Mark Mayhew, Carl Mayhew, Victoria Campbell, Wesley Harold, and Antonio Jest. So there's other videos on Alex's channel of him being terrorized by his Muse, and the whole ARG as a whole is called Don't Feed the Muse. Okay, I know it's confusing, and it's okay. Just like let that part go, because we would have to make a 12-hour video on the entire Alex Bale Don't Feed the Muse ARG, because like that's the umbrella, and Happy Meat Farms is like a piece under that umbrella. The SpongeBob conspiracy videos are another piece under that umbrella. So this whole thing is huge. He's created a whole universe here, and we're just focusing on Happy Meat Farms. But just so that it doesn't get too confusing, that is the difference between assets. Muse/child, I believe, are the same, and a host. Okay. Finally, the bottom of the HR department, the leak. In September 2021, a YouTube channel known as This Place Is Not Happy began leaking classified videos from Happy Meat Farm's private servers. Needless to say, this breach in security is a massive risk to the New World Order, and we have a decent idea of who is behind the channel, but all attempts to locate them have been unsuccessful. Any information about the whereabouts of this leaker will be greatly rewarded. Under no circumstances can they be allowed to release the IT files. They definitely released the IT files. Okay, shall we go to the IT department? Last on this page, the IT department says the IT department run by Jared, who we saw in the video, is in charge of monitoring all the hosts and reporting directly to Mother. IT personnel can access the department portal with their unique ID code. And there's a little picture of Jared there. As you could see, Jared is so, and he was in the video too, but he's obviously a cyborg. Oh my God. Something just showed up in the live feed. No! Oh my God, the live feed does move. Okay, I'm just discovering this in real time, you guys. That was so creepy. Oh my God, I thought it was just a picture. Oh, I hate that. I will try to catch a picture of that and put it in the video for what I just saw in the live feed. I'm so excited. Ew, that was so gross. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. These are the Happy Meat Farms IT file online server. Again, you have to put in another code to get these. I'm not going to go through all of these codes. There's a lot of them. Again, we'd be here all day. A lot of the codes just say missing file, and then a lot of the other ones, if you click on it, it gives you the little loading circle, and then there's a jump scare of Jared. So I'll show you a picture of what shows up, but I won't show the video because I don't want to jump scare you guys. I know that you watch these videos to not get jump scared, but still be able to involve yourself in the lore. So that's what most of these are. I do believe that there's a couple like hidden gems somewhere, but for the most part, it is one of those two things. I'm still watching the live feed because I want to know. I can't believe that. Oh, I hate it. Okay. At the very bottom, if you scroll down further, there is a Jared private file link with another code. The code is for Jared only with spaces. And it's just a very weird 90s looking website, Jared's IT file, with his background info that he's just very cool, very popular. He's Mother's #1 special boy, smartest guy in the world. Mother loves Jared more than Ramona. Ramona was the creator, founder of Happy Meat Farms. So Mother's #1 special boy. Like, there's not a lot on here, but it's just kind of a funny piece. He's a cyborg. He's not fully human. If you click the little YouTube button at the top, doesn't go to a YouTube video. It's just a song to play, like MySpace style, in the background. It's weird. So we're not going to spend too much time on that. Okay. Before we get to the last video on This Place Is Not Happy, which is going to be 8 minutes, so that's going to be a big chunk. But last, we do have to mention Conspiracy Carl's website. I'll let you go explore this one on your own if you have a desire to. We, again, don't have time today because it's more part of the overarching Muse ARG, not Happy Meat Farms. But Conspiracy Carl is part of not only the Happy Meat Farms story, but Conspiracy Carl, aka Carl Mayhew. Mayhew was the code to get into one of Conspiracy Carl's websites. The Carl page is very crazy. It's Carl making these videos about his conspiracies and literally wearing a tinfoil hat. In the Muse ARG, it is known that Carl didn't used to be this way. He only recently became a conspiracy theorist, and we'll talk about that in the IT department video. But not going into Carl that much, but just for context so that you'll understand the next part. He used to not be a conspiracy theorist. Now he has all these websites. He interacts with Alex Bale, his character does, etc. So he's just part of this. So now that you know who both Jared and Carl is, I think we can watch the IT department video. Like I said, the IT department video is like over 8 minutes, so I'm actually going to stop it and talk about it while we're going through it.
Hello! Welcome to the IT department. My name is Jared. I am very cool and very popular. Mother's #1 special boy. I'm so glad to have you on my team. Pop quiz. What is the most important element in an effective team? That's right, motivation. Today, we're going to be providing motivation to different Happy Meat Farms employees. Please pay close attention.
We're so glad to have you as a part of our family, and we hope to see you again soon.
Okay, pause. So as you could tell, so Victoria Campbell, we did talk about that. We just read that from the Reddit page. She is, again, part of the overarching Muse ARG lore. She is one of the hosts. She is being haunted by one of the children / a muse and being controlled. So we just learned that she is the victim of the hair project nightmare portion. She's the one with the phobia of hair, and they are that hair room. We can assume they use that against Victoria as well.
Produce as much meat as possible.
Much meat as possible.
Okay, pause really quick before we watch what they do to poor Bill, I think they said his name was. Did you guys recognize him? That's Dad. If you know, you know. I'm not going to get into it right now, but if you know, you know. That's definitely Dad. Crossover of a lifetime.
Uh-oh. It's okay, we all make mistakes. But it's important that each host is properly motivated before digestion. Trust me, I'm speaking from personal experience. This next host doesn't work for Happy Meat Farms directly. To find them, we're gonna have to go to the internet. Mother has many children across the internet, each with their own host that requires motivation. Let's take a look.
Is this on? Hi. I am Carlton Mayhew. I am going to be discussing things that are going on with the government, things like that. I hope you like these. I think this is going to be really a good thing.
Everywhere I turn, it seems like somebody's watching me, keeping track of what I'm doing. They just put up another tower by my house, not more than a quarter mile away.
Things have been getting kind of crazy. I've had to add more shielding. People from the Illuminati, people from the New World Order, they're going to be trying to find where Conspiracy Carl lives, where he is, what he's doing. Because I saw him putting up more towers. Noticed my phone signal's been crazy. I think they're trying to get at me. I am Conspiracy Carl. I am Conspiracy Carl, and I am here for you, alright? So let's keep our eyes open, and I'll be seeing you out there.
Hello again.
Okay, quick pause. So I just want to make sure that you guys all caught that. So like I said, Carl, remember, we know that he didn't used to be a conspiracy theorist and he didn't even like stuff involving that, but he has been chosen as a host, and his muse is obviously using psychological torture by making him feel paranoid and like he's being followed, and it got to the point where they manipulated into becoming a conspiracy theorist. And now, as you can see from his videos, he's gone like off the walls paranoid, but rightfully so, because there's actually somebody watching him and manipulating him. So again, he was probably another victim of Project Nightmare, like all of the people in this video seem to be tortured in a way that they talk about in Project Nightmare. Okay, keep going.
We have completed our motivations for today. Wow, so cool. Mother will be very pleased. But before you go, would you like to hear a story? There was once a little girl who lived in a house on a farm with parents that loved her very, very much. The farm had many animals: a cow, a chicken, and a pig. And the little girl loved the animals very, very much. The little girl said, "I love you" to the cow. "I love you" to the chicken. "I love you" to the pig. But one day, while she was outside with the animals, she smelled something funny and saw the sky turning black. She turned around and saw smoke coming from the house and fire dancing in the windows. She called to her parents, Mommy, Daddy, but nobody responded. All the little girl could hear was screams coming from the house. The scream said, "Don't let us down, don't 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 let us down." What was that?
You can't control me anymore. I have them. The IT files. All of your puppets' identities belong to me. Stop what you are doing, or they will be released. You did this to yourself.
Well, gosh. Okay, so circling back from earlier, you know how we talked about Ramona Bynes being the founder of Happy Meat Farms, how she was likely the test subject that was being tested on, but was able to, after mutation, escape with some information and start the YouTube channel This Place Is Not Happy to try to expose Happy Meat Farms, and she is now quite the big threat to the whole operation. Well, the end of that video there that we just watched, it is again highly speculated, but pretty well accepted that that is very likely Ramona. And that was a scene of her escape from when they were testing on her. I kind of wonder if Jared, that story he was telling about the little girl living on the farm, if that was part of Project Nightmare and he was just torturing her while they were doing her testing, and then she was able to escape as he was doing so, because then Jared's like on the ground and it looks like he's kind of out of commission for a minute. But then the warning at the end, she says, "Stop what you're doing, and I have all of your employee files and I'm going to release everything and you can't control me anymore." So we can assume that that is Ramona, the founder of Happy Meat Farms, who got tested on, escaped, and she is now trying to expose it for the world. And we believe that is also true because this on the YouTube channel seems to be the place where she is able to add these very distorted messages at the end. It's also fairly accepted that Ramona started Happy Meat Farms and this business and then filed for bankruptcy or something like that. And she had to merge with somebody else and have somebody else buy the company for her. So we assume that Happy Meat Farms became that because she filed for bankruptcy. Someone bought it from her, but then kept her there to use her as a test subject. So poor Ramona, having a dream of having a real Happy Meat Farms, was just destroyed by these other people that came in, took over, and are now trying to take over the world with their creepy alien being Mother and all of Mother's children. It's all creepy. It's all weird. Okay, friends. That's actually it for Happy Meat Farms, at least the story so far. I'm sure more will come out as Alex Bale makes more videos. I know that I don't know a ton about the Muse ARG, like all the details and stuff. I'll be honest, I haven't watched the SpongeBob conspiracy videos yet, but I want to. They're on my list. I do need to watch them because I know something about Don't Feed the Muse, like the next part is coming out soon. So I highly recommend, as always, I will have all of his links down below because he deserves a lot of recognition for the hard work and just amazing storytelling that he has put into all of this. And if you're interested in Happy Meat Farms and want to know more about the Don't Feed the Muse ARG, all of that can be very easily found. There's a lot of resources on Reddit. Watch Alex Bale's videos and stuff like that. But I do think it's a pretty interesting find. All right, guys, don't forget to like the video just to help the channel out. And don't forget about our sponsor Factor today. Use my code to get 50% off of your first box. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Thank you so much to all of our patrons on the screen right now. Colin Holmes, The Deck of Cards, Michelle Valdovinos, Tom L, Little Kittlecat, Mitchell Schaefer-Meyer, Mike, Alice Paul, Brittany Phillips, Momo Neon, Marita144, Sage K, Elderly Hipster, The Puppy Hag, Rebecca Jackson, Toby, Carter, Kawakan Anime and Gaming Convention, Sarah the Crazy Fish Lady, Blood for the Koi, Maxie, Ellison Luna, Julieta, Tiny Miney Bookworm, A Bunny Apparently, Leon Vanek, Literally Lacey, Elliot Fink, I Am in Your Walls, Habromania, Cyberdog Investigations LLC, Vicky Cat, Amy B, Tickerch, Dead Without the E, Ball, Olivezilla, Chara, MH Dave, Ami, Lindsay R, Miss T, Ordinary Alpaca,